Hello everyone, Clay Frederick of the Horror Franchise, back at it with another ranking video. Recently I did a top 10 TV series ranking, so I thought I'd take it upon myself to rank my top 10 favorite movies of all time. So I thought I'd save that one for last. I'm not going to go too crazy in depth as usual, I'm just going to go by my pros and cons with it, and my respect for the movie as well. So, and plus in terms of enjoyment. These are the movies that I pretty much mostly grew up with from mostly my childhood and a portion as around my graduation time in high school. More so my graduation time, or not my graduation time, my high school era. So around that time, there's actually one movie in particular that actually is literally on this list that is after, post-graduation. But we'll get to that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just get right into it. Number 10 is going to be United 93, directed by Paul Greengrass. There's actually two versions of the movie, but this is actually the most prominent one, and is regarded as the most faithful of the 9/11 movies in terms of the best 9/11 movies. And what can I say? If you guys don't know me enough, I don't really talk about 9/11 much because it's highly political and it's a sensitive subject. It is literally an event that shook the foundation of the world, and not only just America, but the world. But 5 years after the events, they made a movie about the passengers that saved a lot of lives by sacrificing their lives, fighting back to gain control of the plane that was hijacked by hijacker Ziad Jarrah and his other muscle hijackers, 4 of them, or 3 of them. There was 4 of them in total. But 9/11 is a event that I'm highly fascinated with, and it is an event that literally is probably my biggest obsession. Except for Halloween, of course. Halloween's way up there, is literally my number 2. But if I were to pick one, it's going to be 9/11. I don't talk about it. I know it's highly sensitive. I've already said this. Maybe one day I'll make a video about 9/11 and why I'm so interested in that event. But there's a reason why United 93 is at the bottom of the 10, because I have a lot of respect for the movie, and it's literally the way Paul Greengrass and the crew put this movie together. It's literally, it feels like you're transported back in time. It feels like you're actually reliving that moment. The what if scenario, because we don't know 100% how it all went down on that plane. But by accounts from air traffic controllers and phone calls by the passengers made, they did the best that they could. And they did a really good job with this movie. There was a lot of unknown actors in it. There's only a couple of actors that I kind of pointed out. I was like, hey, I know you from somewhere. But and there's actually real life people that were reprising their roles in this movie too. So, respect to that. It is grounded in reality. It is very raw, and the music is phenomenal, and the acting is just genuine. Everybody wasn't really trying to act. They're just reliving that moment, the way that they present it. And it, like I said, it feels like you're literally transported back in time. That is how well this movie is made. So, and because of that, it's earning of its top 10. And plus, me being biased of how interested in the event of September 11th I am, it's earned its place in the top 10. Now we get to number 9. This is a movie that I considered to be my number 1 for a while, but as time went on, it went down. But it's also in my top 10, so it's not really that far down. It's going to be Oliver Stone's World Trade Center, starring Nicolas Cage and Michael Pena, Maria Bello, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Jay Hernandez, Stephen Dorff, and Michael Shannon. Hell of a great cast, phenomenal acting through and through. This is an underrated movie. This is just truly an underrated movie. Some people could say that it's a propaganda piece. Go to hell, it is not. It is a story that not a lot of people know about. And of course, nowadays, with more accurate, more accounts that we know of from Will Jimeno and John McLaughlin, mostly Will Jimeno, because we don't really hear from John McLaughlin very much. But there are some inaccuracies in the movie, but that doesn't take away the story itself and the acting and how it was done. Also made 5 years later, after the events that took place. I loved how it was shot, I loved how it was acted, and it took itself very seriously. It didn't go too crazy with even though it does have some Hollywood aspects. I mean, you got Hollywood actors in this movie, so. But given what they had to be, given what they were given, for what they had to do to make it as faithful and respectable as it can be, again, it feels like you're there in some degree. Take away the whole Hollywood aspect that it has in it compared to U-993. U-993 is raw and realistic. This one, they had to do what they had to do with this. But I remember I was never even knew this movie was coming out back then in 2006. Up until literally like a month before it came out, or maybe it was 2 months before it came out. And I remember seeing the trailer, I was like, holy shit, they're making a 9/11 movie. And Nicolas Cage, who is one of my favorite actors of all time, I was like, okay, I'm sold. I didn't know much about what the movie was going to be about until I came in and saw it. And I was like, okay, this is more than just about the event itself. It's about the aftermath and about two men that were buried under the rubble of both of the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. And their fight for survival. There were only 20 people pulled out alive. And they were number 18 and 19. There was a lady that was pulled out the following day. So it's a story about these two men struggling to survive while also portraying their family and how they went through the day. Some people can say this movie's boring. That's your opinion. Me, I don't think it's boring. I absolutely love this movie for what it is, even though it's not entirely accurate. I'm not saying it's way off inaccurate, but there are some inaccuracies that I can point out because I'm biased and I have a lot of knowledge about the event. So take that away. I still enjoy the movie for what it is, and I have a lot of respect for what it is, and it's a remarkable story about two men that actually survived this. Two 110-story skyscrapers that collapsed while they were in the epicenter in the shopping mall in the concourse area below the plaza level that came down on both of them. There were 3 other men that were accompanying with them. I take my hat off to them. My condolences to them. It's crazy that this actually happened to these men, and they are still alive to this day. God was watching out for them. But no, it's phenomenally acted. The cinematography is fantastic. The production design was really good, trying to recreate that rubble and all that. The visual effects were good. The music is fantastic. I love the music in this movie. And just overall, they did their best to recapture that event. They mostly did a good job. But it is what it is. They're at number 10 and 9. Because these movies from here on up, I mean, they're far more enjoyable. It's more of a respect for these movies that I just covered. Because I'm biased about the event. Now we're going to move on. Number 8. Forrest Gump. Yes, Forrest Gump. One of my childhood movies that I grew up watching. I mean, who the hell doesn't love this movie? Who doesn't love Forrest Gump? Tom Hanks, one of my favorite actors of all time, was his best role yet. His best role, period. That's all there is to it. He was phenomenal in this. Just absolutely phenomenal. Taking a kid that is mentally retarded. I'm sorry for using that word, but that's just true about him. He's stupid. He's got a low IQ, but somehow he managed to make his life work by going through history from the 50s, from Elvis Presley, all the way to the AIDS pandemic. All the while doing it all for his love, his childhood best friend in the whole wide world, Jenny. it's a history lesson movie, but it's also just pure hilarious. It's beautiful. It's got a big heart. It is one of the most heartfelt movies, probably the most heartfelt movie I've ever seen. It's got a lot of light and love into it. It can be sad at times, but it's just a beautiful movie. And you got Lieutenant Dan, man. The whole Vietnam section and the whole thing, like, I just love this movie. I love this movie. Everybody knows what this movie is, so I'm not going to go in too depth with this. Like I said, I'm not going too in depth with it. It's just a beautiful movie. I get a laugh out of it every time I watch it, and I get such a good feeling when I watch it, even though there are times like, oh man, this sucks. There's some parts, it sucks that this happened, this and such. But come on, if you haven't seen Forrest Gump, I don't know what's wrong with you. You need to watch this movie. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's without a doubt in my top 10. Number 7. Twister. 1996. With Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. Another one of my childhood movies that I watched with my granddad. We would watch this movie a lot at his place at the time. And it's just entertaining as hell. Again, another one of my fascinations, tornadoes. I'm very interested in tornadoes. And I've seen a lot of footage on YouTube of people that go storm chasing, all these YouTube channels and such. And they're very fascinating. They're very fascinating to watch from a distance. I don't want to see one up close. So, and I most certainly don't want it in my path and wipe out towns and houses. That's the shitty part. But hey, that's just natural disaster as a whole. But no, this movie is just pure entertainment. It's pure entertainment, nonetheless. This is one of those movies I can just watch more than once back to back. It's just so fun and energetic and entertaining. I could say the same thing about its sequel that came out not too long ago. Like, what, a couple years ago? And that movie was fun as hell as well. Of course, it's not as good as Twister. It's not on my top 10. But it's still a really fun movie. This movie, one of my childhood movies, one of my favorites of all time. It's just pure entertainment from start to finish. You got Philip Seymour Hoffman as well. R.I.P. to him, man. He was funny as hell as Dusty. Oh my god. It's got a great cast of characters. You got characters you actually like. Even the small ones, you know who they are, and you're like, oh, okay. But everybody's great. It's a great movie. I love it. Absolutely love it. If you're a Twister fanatic, you'll love this movie. So, there's that. Number 6. Come on now. Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park, man. Another one of my childhood epics. Jurassic Park is the GOAT, man. GOAT. Come on, man. Who doesn't love dinosaurs when you were a kid? I still love dinosaurs to this day, man. I love them more than zombies. And even though I'm more into zombies and shit with Resident Evil and such, but hey, dinosaurs, come on, man. Imagine bringing back dinosaurs coexisting with humanity. Who the hell knows what would happen? But this movie demonstrates science as a whole and how life can find a way. And it's got a great cast of characters, man. You got Sam Neill, you got the other people, you get Jeff Goldblum, hilarious as hell in this. It's just got a fantastic cast. Steven Spielberg's one of Steven Spielberg's best. I think it's my personal favorite Steven Spielberg movie, next to a couple of other ones I can name, but we're not going to talk about them. But Jurassic Park, man, I watched this movie so many times. It's still, to this day, one of the movies I cherish the most. It's just a phenomenal movie. The T-Rex scene in the middle of the movie when it breaks out of its pen, that was one of the most tense and terrifying moments of all time. And the fact that the dinosaurs are presented, they're just reptiles that are hungry. They're not like evil beings. They're not trying to kill you for no reason. They're just like animals, like all animals around life. And I love how it was presented in this movie. Now in the sequels, they're like, I'm going to murder you because I'm a dinosaur and I have to eat you. But no, Jurassic Park, I love this movie. It's got a message about science and all that, how life finds a way, blah, blah, blah. You know the whole deal. Jurassic Park's goated. Now we get to the halfway point in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. Once we get to my top 3, that's the real deal. But kicking off my top 5, This is going to be a hot take for a lot of people. The Blair Witch Project. Yes, I know. The Blair Witch Project. There's a reason why. I've made a top 10 ranking of favorite horror movies. Go check that video out if you want to hear my thoughts on Blair Witch Project. You're probably not going to hear much again. This is the movie that truly scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. Another childhood movie. I remember seeing this movie not knowing what it was, and I thought it was real. A lot of people thought it was real when they first saw it, especially when it was coming out in theaters. And that makes it even better because this movie is fictional, and it's just how genuine everything felt. Very realistic. The Heather, Josh, Mike, the top 3 characters that are centered in this movie, about them being lost in the woods, and they're under the spell of the witchcraft, and they're stuck in a time loop where they're relocating everywhere to the same places over and over again. It's like they're transported back in time and shit like that. So, yeah, I know my stuff about Blair Witch. But it's not the stuff that you see. It's the stuff you hear. It's what messes with your head by hearing. It's a psychological horror movie is what I'm getting at. It's not in-your-face slasher horror and all that. It is a found footage movie done right. It's literally the GOAT of all found footage movies. It's one of the first. It's not the first, but it's one of the first. But it's the one that made a stamp into Paranormal Activity and such. Blair Witch Project is the best of them all. It's the only found footage movie that I truly love. And the reason why, aside from the fact that it scared the hell out of me, is how much they improv'd making this movie. Of course, they had key points in the story that they had to get to, but how much they improv'd along the way, how much everything felt genuine and realistic, and it felt like it could actually happen. And it definitely fooled a lot of people because it was made like it was actually real. And that's why I love it. From a film making perspective, it is perfection. Perfecto. And it's my second favorite horror movie of all time. So there you go. I absolutely love this movie. And it's not the only movie that truly scared me. There's another movie that kind of scared the hell out of me. But this movie terrified the shit out of me as a kid. Number 4. One of the I'm losing my mind. I've got off topic. I don't know where I am. What planet is this? Where am I? Number 4 is going to be Titanic. Come on now. Titanic is another fascination I have. It's just crazy that an event like this actually happened. You have created a ship that is the greatest, strongest ship of all time. The biggest ship of its time in 1912. Everybody was saying how nothing could sink her. Nothing could sink her. God himself couldn't sink the ship. Well, guess what? It hit an iceberg and it was down in like 2 hours and 40 minutes. So, yeah, the impossible became possible that night. But it's not just that. It's the movie itself. I grew up watching. This is one of my most beloved movies I've watched over and over and over again. As I remember the first time I saw this movie, we had the double VHS pack of this, and I actually started watching the second half. I never watched the first half. I watched the second half when all the shit's going down. And that was that. And then finally, eventually, I did watch the whole thing as a whole. But this movie, come on, man. You got Leonardo DiCaprio as Jack Dawson. You got Kate Winslet as Rose DeWitt-Bukater. You got an excellent cast of characters. The production design. You feel like you're on the ship itself. James Cameron's best, in my opinion, next to the Terminator movies. James Cameron killed it. And he's fascinated with Titanic. So that also helps. But the music is, everything in this movie is just perfection. No wonder it dominated the Oscars back in 1998. Because it's just that damn good. Everything was just great. Now, of course, the whole portrayal of the sinking is a bit inaccurate compared to today's standard with science. But still, nonetheless, the ship did break in half, even though it didn't sink exactly like that. Still, Titanic is a movie that I always cherished. And even though it's long as hell, it's just entertaining as hell. Especially the last act when everything is just falling apart. Just the costume design, the acting, and all of that. Everything was just fantastic. but it's not my most childhood favorite movie. We'll get to that. Now we get to my top three. These three movies, for the longest time, except for the past like few years, have been interchangeable as hell. These three movies have been intertwined and switched around a lot. But I have a definitive list now. Number 3, The Dark Knight Rises. Yes, The Dark Knight Rises. This was the greatest theater experience of my life right here. I have not seen The Dark Knight in theaters. The Dark Knight Rises is the only one that I've seen in theaters because I got into the Dark Knight movies and Batman as a whole. I was already a fan of Batman, but I became more of a Batman fan within a year after The Dark Knight's release. So I was very much looking forward to The Dark Knight Rises in 2012 when it was coming out. So, I knew I was going to really like this movie. I mean, come on now, Christopher Nolan, Christian Bale as Batman, best Batman ever. I saw this movie, and I was in awe the entire time, from start to finish. It was just an epic experience. It was an epic experience. The music is epic. The photography, the action was great. Anne Hathaway, oh man, I remember when I saw this, man, this was the start of a huge, massive crush for Anne Hathaway I had. I didn't care much for Anne Hathaway up until I saw this movie, and man, she was a hot Catwoman. I don't care what anyone says, she's my Catwoman, and she did a great job. And everybody did a great job. Michael Caine's best performance as Alfred, hands down. You got Morgan Freeman back, you got Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon. This is possibly Commissioner Gordon's best performance. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's coming back. Or he didn't come back. This is his first movie. What the hell am I talking about? Playing as John Blake, who ends up being Robin at the end. I thought that was a hell of a good twist right there. And of course, the best part of this movie, Bane, played by Tom Hardy. Oh yes! I was wondering what would break first. Your spirit or your body. The fire rises. Dude. Even though there were critiques about his voice not being understandable, I understood it. It wasn't that hard. Come on now. You really had to pay attention, though. Plus, I've seen the movie 1,000 times, so I already know everything he says. His lines are badass. Come on, memorable lines. Memorable lines. He is a force to be reckoned with, and this is in the point in the series where Batman's never faced an enemy like this before, as imposing and overpowering as he is. Batman's never faced that before. He fought Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul. He fought the Joker. He fought Two-Face and Scarecrow by Cillian Murphy. I'm sorry I didn't. But they were never physically overpowering. Bane is, and Bane proves it halfway through the movie. Both of the Batman and Bane fights are my top favorite scenes in the movie, hands down. I just love their dynamic, everything. Even the dynamic between Selina Kyle, Catwoman, and Bruce Wayne, Batman. I love it. The dynamic with Christian Bale, hands down, everybody was great. This movie is just, yes, there are little flaws in this movie, but I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. This was purely the greatest movie experience of my life from 2012 to today. Theater experience and all. Nothing has topped it since. You can make a case with the Avengers movies such as Infinity War and Endgame. They were pretty damn close, but Dark Knight Rises is the GOAT of theater experiences, period, point blank. And that's all there is to it. And this is also a thing I will mention. I've seen all the Avengers, I've seen the Avengers, and I'm thinking they're never going to kill off somebody. This was a time before when Infinity War and Endgame came out and all this. Dark Knight Rises did this first. I remember seeing this movie the first time, and I'm thinking, holy shit, Batman's going to die. They did it. He died. He sacrificed himself. Well, at the end, Bruce Wayne was alive, so I love that. Bruce Wayne, it's a story about Bruce Wayne rising from his pain and his despair from the previous movie and finally getting the life that Alfred wanted for him. He sacrifices the role of Batman, passes it on to Robin at the end, John Blake, and finally gets to move on and live a life with Selina Kyle. Makes perfect sense. He finally does it. I loved that ending. I love it. It's absolutely fulfilling to Bruce Wayne's character arc from Batman Begins to Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. He just wanted to have a normal life at some point, but of course he was afflicted by trauma from his parents' death and such like that. And Rachel, his girlfriend at the time, well, best friend, girlfriend in The Dark Knight and Batman Begins, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, Dark Knight Rises truly was for a while my number one movie of all time. And then as time went on, we get to my number two. Come on, The Dark Knight. Yes, The Dark Knight. For a while, The Dark Knight Rises was better than The Dark Knight. During my high school time, The Dark Knight was so influential in my life. Very influential. I haven't seen it in the theater, as I've already mentioned. And I gotta tell you, to this day, I have never seen an actor pull off a performance so raw, disappear into a role that makes you think, was that really Heath Ledger? It was Heath Ledger. I have never seen that in any actor. To this day. I could say the same about Tom Hardy, but I can tell it's Tom Hardy by his eyes and such. But still, even then, Heath Ledger literally is the best thing about this movie, and he delivered the greatest performance, in my opinion. One of the best performances to the general audience. The greatest performance I've ever seen in a movie. He was very inspirational, and kind of way too inspirational back in my high school days, because I did some things back in my days that I'm not going to discuss, but I did some crazy things back in the day. But anyways, no, Heath Ledger's the best Joker, hands down, and he shows why he's the best Joker in this movie. You can make a case that Jack Nicholson's better. That's on you. For being more comic accurate, sure, why not? But delivering a brand new take on a Joker and delivering it in perfection, in a reality sense, an original, holy shit, dude. He committed himself to this role. And let's get away from the Joker. Obviously, this is the purest Batman movie. This is the best Batman movie. The story is phenomenal. It's a crime thriller movie, and it's just the stuff with Harvey Two-Face, played by Aaron Eckhart, who was awesome in this movie as well. He was awesome. I loved him. He's probably my second favorite in this movie. Next to Batman, of course, but Christian Bale is the best Batman. We've already discussed that. I love him. And just everybody had a time to shine in this movie. You got Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine again. You got Maggie Gyllenhaal playing as Rachel Dawes, because what's the other girl's name? I forgot the other girl's name who played her in Batman Begins. But anyways, Katie Holmes. Still, everybody did great. The story was fantastic. The music was epic. The tension was real. And you have Batman face against an enemy who actually questioned him psychologically. And the ending, man. The ending. Holy God in heaven. The ending. Before I get to the ending, the prologue is probably one of the best prologues in the movie. The whole bank heist, and then you got the hospital explosion. The interrogation scene between Batman and Joker is the best scene in the whole Dark Knight trilogy, in my opinion. And the ending, how Batman had to make a choice to take the fall for Harvey Dent's murder, just so that he could say the Joker didn't win. And the Joker won at the end. The Joker tested everyone, and he took the best, which was Harvey Dent, and took him down to his level, all for the sake of showing the world that everyone can snap just like that. This is a phenomenal movie, one of the greatest movies ever made. Truly, for a while, was my favorite movie of all time, up until The Dark Knight Rises at the time. But now we get to my number one. Now, if you've known me long enough, you've probably already heard me say this. Number one is going to be the one, the only, the classic Halloween. Come on now. My ultimate childhood movie. This is the movie I have watched more than Titanic, The Blair Witch, Jurassic Park, Twister, Forrest Gump combined. I love this movie. This is the movie that introduced me into the world of filmmaking as a whole, got me more interested in filmmaking. Hell, I made fan movies based off the horror franchise as a whole, this channel, my fan films, everything I've done for this channel, and just my fascination with filmmaking and such is because of this movie. Purely and simply that. That is it. Halloween is the GOAT. Of course, it's got its flaws too. But John Carpenter took a story that was so simple, and made it so effective. So effective. The highest grossing independent horror flick of its time in 1978, 79, because the movie took a while to get traction. And it became a massive hit. So, and because of that, it kicked off the slasher horror genre with Jason, Friday the 13th, Freddy, Nightmare on Elm Street, Chucky from Child's Place, other movies such as that. And eventually leading into Scream, 1996. Halloween set the benchmark for it all. And that's one of the reasons why I love this movie so much. It's pure 10 out of 10. This movie, The Dark Knight, Dark Knight Rises are 10 out of 10 for me. After that, Titanic and everything else down this list is like a 9.5. So, yeah, there's that. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. That's my list, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.